This is a war story. It could be anywhere in the world. It could involve anyone. It could only take place within the human body.
Ten, hop! All right, you guys, as you were. Now, this is your final briefing before you shove off for invasion. You guys are contagious disease germs. And don't you ever forget it. Now, your mission is to blast every human you can with VD. Your specialty is sneak attack and dirty fighting. Attack Force G, your job is to give them gonorrhea. Code name for that disease is clopper dose, you know. Attack Force S, you hit them with a different disease, syphilis. Code name for that is syphilis. But remember, whatever your assignment, you won't be alone. Because you've got some great allies in the underground out there. Ignorance, fear, and shame. They make your job a lot easier. Especially ignorance. Okay, now let's talk about attack plans. Here is your objective. Homo sapiens. People. The human being. Now basically, there's only two kinds. Male and female. Now they come in a lot of colors. Black, white, brown, yellow, red. But it makes no difference to you. You can hit all of them. Young or old, rich or poor. And you can even give them gonorrhea and syphilis at the same time. But don't ever forget, ordinarily you can't live very long outside of their bodies. But there are ways you can be passed from one to the other just the same. Now here's how it works. Their bodies have openings in them. Some around here, and some in this area where their sex organs are. Now they offer perfect conditions for invasion. This is where you gonorrhea guys have to dig in most of the time, but you syphilis germs have a chance in other places too. Of course, neither one of you just appear out of nowhere. A human who has been invaded earlier has to pass you on by making skin-to-skin contact. And it only takes you seconds to get from one to the other. Now, usually some kind of sex contact gives you the best opportunity, although not necessarily. And it can even be between male and male, or female and female, as far as you're concerned. All you need is that opportunity. Of course, there are a lot of humans who don't have the kind of contact you need, and that cuts your opportunities to practically nothing. Your best targets are the humans who do just the opposite. In fact, they don't know it. But ignorance has got them playing your game. Let me show you. Any number can play, but if one or two of them have clap or sif, VD roulette is the name of the game. All they gotta do is make as many different contacts as they can. You're bound to be a winner because some of them will come up a loser on nearly every spin. The beauty part is, the more they gamble, the more you win. You've even got the law on your side, the law of averages. If they play often enough, you can win them all. The real kicker is, they don't even know you're in the game. Is that beautiful? And if you like that, let me give you a couple of more laughs. A lot of the females who don't want to get pregnant take birth control pills. Well, that's fine. But some of them think the pill works against you, too. No way. They could take a jillion of them. And it wouldn't keep you out. Delicious. Now, here's another one. Some of them actually believe you'll eventually just go away without them doing anything. Well, you never quit. You're out as out of fight to the last germ. Speaking of that, A lot of them also believe that if you've given a human any kind of venereal disease, and he's been cured of it, that human is protected against invasion for the rest of his life. But don't worry, it's not so. No matter how many times they've been cured, you can still hit them. Now here's one more. It's about the doorknobs and toilet seats. They think they can get VD just by touching these things. Well, let them think so. But don't you believe it. I repeat, practically the only time you can invade is when they make skin-to-skin contact. Now then, can humans really tell whether or not they've been invaded? The answer is sometimes yes, sometimes no. Let's start with a male and a female again. Say he hasn't been invaded, but she has and doesn't know it. They make a contact. Say it's sexual intercourse, and zap, he's invaded. But he won't know it right away either. Incidentally, if he's what they call a lady killer, they don't realize how accurate that name can be. There's plenty of time for him to pass you on to others before he even suspects he might have a problem. Now, it's going to be maybe 2 to 7 days before anything shows up at all. But then, if you gonorrhea germs were in on the invasion, chances are he's going to know it because he'll really feel it when he urinates. At the same time, he'll probably notice an unusual fluid dripping out. How about that? Now, with the females you invade, it's a different story, because usually there aren't any noticeable signs. So even though one of them gives you to a male, and he passes you on to other females, they probably won't know until way too late. Ignorance has done it again, yeah. Unless the guy's man enough to warn him that he's got gonorrhea and they might have it too. Now, if you syphilis germs made the invasion, things are different again, because you can invade them in a lot of places, and you get into their bloodstream. It'll take anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months before they have any sign you're in there, if anything shows up at all. Of course, in this time, you're spreading through their entire body, and the effects are the same for males and females. Wherever you first dug in, here on a male, for instance, what they call a chancre may appear. Now, there's a beautiful example. Of course, chancres don't always look that bad. In fact, lots of you hardly notice. And in spite of how they look, chancres usually don't hurt. Now, a female may have one in the same area, but a lot of times it'll be inside where it can't be seen. However, chancres can be seen around the mouth on either sex, because you can be passed from one human to another simply by their kissing. Actually, chancres can appear in lots of places, and every one of them is going to be jammed with you syphilis troops, ready to invade any other human that makes contact. But wherever it is, a chancre just disappears after a while, and the human will think everything is okay. Of course, you know that just means the first stage of the invasion is over. Later on, some different signs may show up that indicate the attack is progressing. Whitish spots may develop inside the mouth, and they may have a lot of sore throats, feel tired and achy all the time. Or they might get skin rashes of various kinds. These rashes can be unusual. Any of these signs will go away pretty soon, too. Or, like I said, they may not show up at all. Of course, a human who has been playing VD roulette should know that any unusual sign could mean you've invaded them. They should also be suspicious enough to do something about it. But here's where you're going to get some assistance again from your buddies in the underground. Fear and shame will stop a lot of them from asking for proper help. And ignorance will keep them from realizing you've given them a disease. And they could be in serious trouble if they do nothing. It may take only weeks or months, or it might take 5, 10, even 20 years. But the final objective for all of you germs is maim 'em for life, or kill 'em if you can. The least you gonorrhea guys might do is permanently damage their sex organs. This can cause them pain for a long time. And there's a real good chance you might fix it so they can't ever have children. But that's nothing compared to what you syphilis germs can do if you're left alone long enough. There's hardly an organ in their body you can't knock out eventually, including their heart and their brain. Some of them will end up insane. And some of them will drop dead from a damaged heart without knowing it was you that did them in. And if a female has syphilis and gets pregnant, you can attack the baby even before he's born. And if he's still alive when he is born, he might be blind, or deformed, or crippled for the rest of his life. Remember, this is total war. Okay, now we gotta talk about what they might do if they suspect they've got a problem. First of all, ignorance will get a lot of them to gamble at something else. A little strain, or a liver upset maybe, and take something for that. And even if they do think they've got VD, they'll buy stuff from some guy on the street, or through the mail. Or they'll try stupid things they've heard about, like VD can be cured by wearing a bag of crushed eucalyptus leaves around their neck for 5 days. Or drinking water from a bird bath that had 3 frogs in it, when there was a new moon. Now, of course, any of these do-it-yourself remedies are going to be zero effective against you. And ignorance scores again. But don't get overconfident, because not all humans are that stupid. The minute the smart ones have any suspicion of VD, they're going to get professional help. Any public health department or any community health service will take care of them for free. And in most places, they won't tell anybody else about it. Or a private doctor could treat them, and more of them will do that without anybody else's permission. And most doctors will keep it confidential, too. But whichever way they go, they've got ways to tell whether or not you're there. And they've got super weapons that can spell curtains for every invasion attempt. Any human that does have syphilis or gonorrhea, or both, can be cured quickly and easily by proper treatment. And that means millions of you guys will be wiped out every time. If they really tried, they could kill all of you, murder you, stamp out VD everywhere. But there will always be humans ignorant enough to play your game. And there will always be VD germs to invade them when they do. You're winning more every year. But I want you to make every day VD Day!
The facts behind this VD attack plan are true. It has been successful time after time. But the story can be ended here.
Hold it, hold it, hold it! I'm not through yet! I know you can't wait to hit him, and I like your spirit. But there's something else you should know. They have got ways of avoiding or preventing invasion. Now, first of all, like I said, the humans who have little or no sex contact give you practically no chance for invasion. But even for others, there's a very effective defense if they use it correctly. This device right here. It's a thin cover called a rubber, or a condom. The male puts it on before and keeps it on during any sex contact. You germs can't get through it. So even if you have invaded the female he contacts, it blocks you so you can't invade him from her. Of course, if he's the one with VD, it blocks you from invading her from him. They can get condoms at any drugstore along with information about how to use them. Of course, their old standby soap and water, used liberally soon after contact, may wash a lot of you germs away. And if the male urinates right away, it's going to be even tougher for you to dig in, especially you gonorrhea guys. But remember, even these defenses are not 100% guaranteed, particularly if they're not carefully used. One little mistake, and pow, they've had it. So, now, get out there and shine!